Black gold oil chart. So this chart, although I made no money off of it, has been one of my favorite things to watch since COVID, and we had that negative. Again, I'm still new to trading. I probably wasn't doing technical analysis at that time, but I was just fascinated by this negative move in oil. Um, when those tankers were stuck out at sea because it was too expensive to hold it, and people were, I think, what were they getting like calls on? They were actually purchasing. They were paying. Oh my God, what happened? I'm trying to figure it out how to say it. The people that were holding the futures contracts, the contracts came due, and they said, "Hey, can pick up your oil." So people went negative, having to pay for the contract, something like that. I'm sorry, don't But again, at the time, I was fascinated. I thought it was insane to have a move down on oil like this. But I'll never forget, my stepmother called me. She was like, and again, she doesn't know much about trading, but she understands real life. And she was like, I think oil we should probably buy it. I don't think we actually did, or she did. She didn't. But she just called me. She was like, unless the world is coming to an end, we're gonna need oil, and it makes sense now. Cause that was pretty much the buy of all buys. Oil went from, well, on this chart, on the, US oil chart, from about $9, on this wick to, 125. Like that's phenomenal. A futures contract, option contract on something like that, you change your life. But again, the chart itself is interesting. I remember watching this pattern. I don't know how many, again, a lot of, I like macro charts. I had my Fibonacci time cycles here, bottom, so this thing kind of, likes to repeat itself. And, I remember watching this thing go down, and I remember telling everybody, I was like, yo, I called my pops. I was like, I don't know what's coming or what's going to happen, but at some point it looks like, oil's going to break out, and we're going to have a supply shock or something. And, lo and behold, of course, news came out, but the chart was building. The chart was giving us fair warning that we were forming a pennant. We were forming a pennant or a flag. I really was more of a flag kind of. Yeah, it's more of a flag. Yeah, a nice flag pattern. Um, and did we actually hit the measured move? Um, you measure these moves with the flagpole. You bring it up. Aye, aye, aye. Come on, baby. Yeah. I mean, to the T, my friend. To the T, to the titty. That would be the flagpole. And we broke out. And that would be your target. I mean, just gorgeous. Technical analysis. But anyway, so, but now I will run some fibs, because, the Fibonacci can give us some clues, especially with our rules from the fib. Now, again, watching a lot of headlines, everyone's, oh, oil's going to go to these prices. And, I do like to watch David Hunter, just because, like, the guy's made some pretty interesting calls, and thus far, he's kind of been the most accurate. There's levels on the S&P that we're at right now that I remember him saying, and I said, no, that's crazy. The S&P has just been on a tear, for the past 2, 3 years. Like, it's crazy. And David Hunter called it. And now he's calling for, what, like $30 oil, which is insane. But everyone else in the world is like, no, we're going to, 150, $200 oil, and I see that, like, if we're looking at this bull flag right here, besides that little small, what do you call it? That little small flag pole, this could be a potential, the other pole. Like, I'm not, I'm not sure which way it goes, but if we, come back and retest this and then just take off from there. But I can see where Mr. Hunter is coming from with my technicals. Cause we're going to go up. Alright, so on the monthly chart, let's bring up our RSI. We have a low right here, a high right here. And then we didn't really bottom back out on that RSI, but I'm gonna say like right around here or so. Also, right before the Iran conflict. How about this? How about we had some beautiful divergence? We had a low, little bit of a double low or double bottom, and then here we had a low and a high. You know, not much, but you know, if you have a trained eye, you can see that dang it, I need to get faster with this. You can see these right here. So yeah. But anyway, Fibonacci. Let's try these fibs. All right, so we have a low down here, of course, that low from COVID. It took us into uncharted territory. Then we had the big move up with Biden. Then we had a sideways consolidation. We were getting rid of oil in our SPR. And bam, now we move back up. So let's go from this low up to this high right here. Yeah, up to that high. And then we can come back down to, let's say like that low right there. And oil's funny. Part of me wants to, let's do it both ways. This is actually a good test because running the fib from a wave, a wave pattern versus a candlestick can give you different targets. Okay, now the first thing I see here is a rule that I had said to myself, well, maybe it's not true, and I've got spanked many a time, so I had told myself not to violate this rule. When we hit the 382 Fibonacci level, anytime we exit the red zone, if you have your low right, if you have your low right here, and you make it to this fib level, this is your Fibonacci right here, right? And you make it to that 382, and you pierce that. Well, see, we didn't really confirm a close. But either way, I just don't like it because we kind of, we're in there. And I'm on a monthly chart. I'm pretty sure if I go to a 2-week or a weekly, I would call that close enough. Once you enter that 382 range, or you kind of hit it, you have no business being back in that red zone. That's like football. When you get out the red zone and you get pushed back in here, that's a safety, buddy. And we up in there. We are up in here. And just from my experience, when you get in that red zone, that's telling me that this bottom here is not the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's telling me that we have another low, or return to the bottom of something that needs to happen to bring this guy down a little bit. So it's almost like we have our low, we have our high, and is this really the low, or do we have another low coming? I don't know. Let's see. But now that we did it with the line chart, so those fib levels I have here are from they're from the line chart, right? Now let's see what our fib levels would look like with the candlesticks. All right. So we'll go down to here. Take it up to our look right there. And this boy, woo, look at this. Look at that. Sheesh. All right, where's our fib at now? Yeah, what's going on here? That's crazy. What's going on? You know what I'm gonna do? This wick just is not a function with that wick. I feel like I have to at least go from the body. Either way, that wick is crazy. I just don't like the, because if anything, we want to go with the real, the line chart, because it's, the wicks are just emotional. And, those things, yes, it counts. We did go there technically on price, but, your line chart is where, the market opened and closed at. So it's a little bit more stronger. I'd give them more validity than I would, just a wick. So yeah. Made it up to the 382, and now we're back. Oh, look at this. We even came back and retested the red zone with that last move we had up. I don't know if you see it, but oil is currently down about 8%. on the night. That's kind of crazy. Oil is down, yeah, 8% currently right now. What's happening? U.S. Treasury yields slide as oil falls sharply. Mid-East diplomacy returns. Okay. Hopefully they can work out a deal. We've been waiting for this thing for a while. But again, this chart, man, I could see oil coming back down below 50 something, which I know sounds crazy, but I don't know, maybe we ramp up Venezuelan oil or something, but I could actually see it. The chart's telling me it could happen. Um, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're watching oil. Again, if oil were to break this level, okay, this is what I was looking at though. So if this is incorrect, or if we have a low, right? What what do I see here that might actually help me find where that low could be? Is there anything that gives me clues, or we don't really have any divergence, but I do have a RSI high here, a low, and a RSI high here, which potentially could give me a high, a low, and a high. And this is interesting because let's keep the line chart on. We made it down. We made it to the 618. If you're, what is this line right here? I don't know what that line is. Anyway, we made it to the pivot. The pivot is right here, the 618 to the 764. Price made it down into the, made it to the 618. Ran back up to the red zone. Didn't really close in the red zone. So, I wouldn't, and we definitely didn't close on the line chart. And I'm wondering, are we setting up for a move down, back down? I mean, the 52 is right here. David Hunter's saying $30, and I see where he's getting it from because the 618 is right there, $30, $34. But I don't know what takes oil down to $30. I think that's a stretch. I definitely could see a B, C correction. What's it right here? A, B, C correction down to maybe 52 and making a low at 52. And I'm very tempted to maybe even open up, get a futures contract at about $52. But this thing could even fall down to the 1.27, which is 43. It's like honestly anything under that 52 area is very tempting because it's still oil, and I don't think oil would actually. I'm gonna do something that I probably should not do. I'm gonna do a fib on a fib. So again, I'm playing with that, right? And now let's play with that low down here, that high up here. And again, this is just for fun. We're not trading this. We're just charting. And it's low right here. Oh, okay. Let's say we make it down to the 1. Let's say the 1 is our target. Would you look at that? The Iran war would have sent it up to the 1, made it down to the red zone. If that was a bottom, that's very interesting. And look at that. Yeah, looked up to the 5. Again, just it's Fibonacci. You can play with this stuff and things will line up for any random weird reason. But yeah, but oil. I am watching oil to see what happens. Let's get rid of that. Let's just go back. I want to keep my chart back to where it was. Actually, let's go back to where I had it before I made the video. I had some lines on here I kind of wanted to zoom in and take a look at. All right, I know. I don't care. It's my channel. I can do what I want. Who cares? Oh, shoot. Where you going, dude? You went too far back. All right, so yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Oil. Keep an eye out for it. Are we going back? We're down 8% on the night. Will Trump close a deal and we'll ramp up Venezuelan oil and open up the Strait of Hormuz and oil will flow and take us back down to $50. Let's see. But here's the thing. Once we hit that 50 though, oh, it's on a cracking. After we hit that 50, these higher levels on oil, at some point in the 2030s, 2040s, we're going to come across some levels that just makes no sense for oil. But again, you know, I know if saw this, pattern here, if I saw this bull flag here, and again, everybody and their mother, once that thing broke out, they saw the gap and they're like, oh, we're going to fill the gap and then we're going to rock it up. So it was just a bit of a crowded trade where everybody was, expecting, excuse me, excuse me, oof, a gap fill and then a takeoff. So we'll see. So, I mean, this would be a hell of a market fake out if this thing broke structure on this bull flag. But honestly, the bull flag, it played out. There's your target. The bull flag played out perfectly. Beautifully. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Oil. $200 or $50 or $30. David Hunter.